spawning down in the bottom left-hand position as the teal Protoss player. And I always have to think about that because I'm colorblind. The teal Protoss player representing Fnatic. It is NightEnd. And his opponent up in the top left. As I put on like darker, more sinister voice for the Swarm. Representing Team Dignitas. It's Tefel. And I'm glad I really so happy I finished that intro when I did, because I suddenly noticed myself going down in tone as I went on, and I was like, my voice is going to cut out in a minute. It's going to be bad. So yeah, that all went pretty cool. Anyway, this game, let's think about what could be happening. Frost in vertical spawn positions means we've got some cool paths through. Tefel needs to expand down here. NightEnd needs to expand down here for their thirds. We could see some fun stuff. We could see some Stargate play. It's not unheard of. NightEnd, being a game down, needs to level out this series because, put simply, NightEnd wins this game, and suddenly it's a best of 3. Everything's out in the open. You got that nice little safety blanket. NightEnd loses this game, and he has to then win 3 games in a row. That is quite a mountain to climb, especially against a player of Tefel's caliber. And that's by no means me thinking that Tefel is the better player here. If the roles were reversed and NightEnd was 2 up against Tefel, I'd say it's a hard feat to try and match that too. Any best of 5 of 2 similar skilled players is going to be very tough if one of them gets 2 games up. It's just the way of statistics. So that's where you've got to be a little bit careful. But Tefel, he's being careful. He's playing exactly the same as previous games against Protoss. Meanwhile, NightEnd got a nice early Nexus down. That Nexus was after the gateway, but still exceptionally early. Like, that is crazy early. Generally, you see gases and a cybernetics core coming down, but Frost being a big map, NightEnd feeling quite safe in getting down the expansion as quick as possible. Double assimilators also coming in there, making sure that he is still getting the gas. It's essential. He needs the cybernetics core down pretty quick, and of course he needs to get his mothership core and stuff in order to defend this position. That's the key thing. He's taken a risk and he needs to be able to defend it now. The narrow choke will help if he does go for that wall off, but opting for the cybernetics core up in the main, just playing a bit more safe, making sure that nothing too bad would happen. But for the moment, we do just see the probe getting a lot of scouting information. NightEnd now fully aware of what his opponent does have planned, and therefore can opt to deal with however he sees fit. But really, in terms of what was scouted, it's nothing that is crazy. It's nothing that is gonna really make NightEnd alter his strategy, because all he saw was Tefel doing what Tefel does. Pull, hatch, gas, he'll get speed, pull these drones out and secure a third. So it's standard Tefel, and that means that NightEnd can try and disrupt that, and how he goes about doing so will be quite interesting. Remember, the last game was quite interesting because NightEnd hadn't quite ramped up into mass Colossus production, but what he had done was taken our 4th to level out the base count. He also had a great drop coming in order where he did actually manage to take out the Hive of Tefel. But Tefel just had an overwhelming force before there was enough splash damage of Roaches and Hydralisks to be able to punch through and take out the 3rd of NightEnd. So it was a close game. Now, what we need to see is, well, the 3rd come down, just as expected. Speed's on its way, and therefore, gas has been stopped. And what we'll probably see, once again, around the kind of 35-40 drone mark, is Tefel make a couple of links. Will he go for more than the 10 he did last game, more to a stylistic 18? Perhaps, but what we do know is that a Stargate is coming down from NightEnd, so he's going to be mixing things up. A lot of a different strategy here. Will it be an Oracle, Phoenix, or Void Ray? Could be all 3 are viable. Judging by the spawn positions, I'd expect either Phoenix or an Oracle. And the reason for that is just because the Oracle could come in and deal damage quite quickly. But for the moment, a little bit of pressure coming through. The 2 Queens and drones will be able to make short work of this. Good micro actually there by Tefel, and able to take out the Zealot. Did lose 3 workers in the process, but that isn't catastrophic. Not by any means bad. It was technically a cost-effective trade there for NightEnd. 3 drones, 150 minerals. 4 with just 1 Zealot, it's 100, so that's good. But if he loses the Stalker, it suddenly becomes not a good trade. It will go down. The Mass Recall going a bit late, unfortunately. It's also wasting the energy there since it didn't save the Stalker. Oracle, though, he's going to come in and try and deal some more damage. The bad side of this for NightEnd is just that the Queens survived. He wanted to get a Queen out, and the reason for that is if he killed one of these Queens, it would have been a lot harder for Tefel to defend against this, because obviously we know that one Oracle beats one Queen. But with it in a good position, this Oracle will have a tough time as it comes forward. Will it be able to get any drone kills? Well, firstly, it avoids completely that Queen. Does now see it and is going to engage it head on. It was a bit damaged, so should be able to take it out. Tefel would like to be able to inject, and he can. Does get it down, and that's important because it minimizes the production, basically blockage that could have come if that Queen had died before getting the inject. So it buys Tefel a bit more time. Smart move. Really good to see that coming down, and therefore it's minimizing the damage done. The Oracle did still manage to kill 4 additional drones, so 7 workers have been taken out now by the Protoss player. But where's the follow-up? Robotic facility, a few more gateways, but no third base for the moment. That means Tefel doesn't need to try and rush to secure a 4th. He's got a great economy. He's got 11 drones in production, and that's because he feels secure due to the fact that the Oracle cave. He knows there's not going to be a big ground push anytime soon, and so that feels relatively good. But what he doesn't know is there is a huge pylon here, and a lot of Zealots going to get walked in. If +1 were to finish, that'd be even worse, but for the moment, just a couple more Zealots on their way through. This is all hidden from Tefel at the moment. He has no clue, although that Zealot is incredibly close to giving the game away, but now moves forward. Zealots are going to be up against some Zerglings, but only 10 of them trying to face off against 7 Zealots. Won't go too well, but once the Hydralisks hit the field, as long as the Zerglings can buffer for them, well, the damage will be done exceptionally quickly. So this is Tefel buying time. He's allowing the Hydralisks to get out, and that's a really important bit of this play. Should be able to deal with it now, as long as the Hydras can deal the damage that they so essentially have to. Hydras are getting chased down, though. Zealots quickly melting. The Zerglings able to tank up the damage momentarily, allowing more to be done. And with those Zealots getting taken out, no more workers were killed, and the Hydras in a good commanding position. This was all achieved because roaches were skipped entirely, and the reason Tefel felt secure in doing that and skipping the roaches is because of the Stargate play. He knew that there would be no way for there to be a big ground offensive coming anytime soon, so he didn't need the roaches, and he could go for the high DPS army. But with the robotics on its way, there is a need to transition out of Ling Hydra. And the reason for that is because Ling Hydra is exceptionally vulnerable to splash damage. Now, a few Lings are going to come and get the wraparound on these sentries, which isn't ideal. It also puts the sentries in an awkward position. NightEnd losing a lot of gas-intensive units there, and all of those sentries going down now means no force kills. That was big losses straight away there for NightEnd. He lost 600 gas, and the Oracle as well went down. Suddenly not much here, and while there is a phone overcharge, 2 pylons will go down. The Nexus now going to get focused. Can the Hydras take it out in time? They should easily be able to do so. And with that, a great pick-off by Tefel, who's looking in a very dominating position in this game. He's flooding with Hydras and Zerglings. He said, okay, we might be checking, and my Ling Hydras may have a timer on them, but I'm going to hit that timing, and I'm going to make sure that he can't do it. So the big thing now for NightEnd is to buy time. He needs this Colossus out. Positioning it at the edge of this high ground without vision from an Overlord or anything means that it can freely hit away at this. But the sentries being evaporated means that these force fields are limited, and therefore they have to be right on the money. The Colossus trying to micro up and down that cliff, staying out of range. If the Colossus dies, it's pretty much GG if it isn't already. Tefel is piling on the pressure. He's found the pressure point, and he's going for it. He's got blood. He's going to be trying to push his way through. Of course, this Colossus essentially trying its utmost to make this work, but with the Mothership Core now down, the Hydras picking away at this army. The Colossus, the one lone standpoint, is not able to deal enough damage alone. A second Colossus is going to come in, but if that natural Nexus falls, the lack of income could be devastating. NightEnd knows it. GG is cool, and Tefel takes an early 2-0 lead in this series.